There you go. And a couple things that you want to have together before you update your LinkedIn profile is you want to make sure you have an updated resume, of course. You want to have a display, a professional headshot, and I'm gonna kind of delve into that a little bit deeper later on in the presentation. You want to have a list of accomplishments together, around 3 of them, and also you want to have all your college degree and certification details together. And we're gonna kind of let you know why later on in the presentation. And now I'm gonna pass it to Willie. He's gonna kind of help you discover why you're on LinkedIn and what you're trying to accomplish when you are on LinkedIn.
Hey everyone, once again, thanks for joining this presentation. You'll get a lot more out of it if you're able to see what we're doing online, because I will be referring to things that's on George's page and referring to things that are on my page. And what kind of got us started on this journey is because George and I both went through private training, one-on-one training for our LinkedIn. And it was such a wealth of knowledge that we thought this is something that we know, and we know the people around us do not know a lot of the secrets and tricks and trades when it comes to having a good LinkedIn profile. George runs a business. I'm an executive of a business. We get a lot of business done through LinkedIn, and it's because a lot of it has to do with how we present ourselves. So George laid out a couple ground rules about things you might want to have in order before you want to touch your LinkedIn, such as your resume and everything. But a few things I also want to talk about are just things you should know about yourself in general. And one is know what you're trying to accomplish. If you're on LinkedIn, are you there for networking reasons? Are you there for, you might be looking for a new job, or you might want to see what your worth is in the market? Be very specific in your head on why you're joining this platform. Otherwise, you're not going to utilize it to your full potential. Also, be confident in your strengths. You hear in the background, you might hear my 4-year-old, so I apologize. Sounds like he's fighting bedtime. But I will say, be confident in your strengths and be able to articulate them well. So what I mean about be confident in your strengths is that a lot of people miss promotions or miss job opportunities because they are competent inside their field, but they are not confident in their realm. And this unfortunately affects women more than any other group of people, and that's how they get passed up on a lot of job opportunities, because a lot of leadership opportunities are normally presented to people who are confident in their strengths or being able to portray their competency outwardly. Sometimes you get people who are very confident, but they're not competent at all. And some of you might have bosses that are like that, and that is unfortunate. But this is also why I do have an emphasis on being confident about what you're competent in. Work towards being an expert in your field. So for example, I work in the nonprofit field. I believe, George, you work in supply chain. So whenever you say, I'm going to be on this career path, you need to continue your development inside that career to the point where you can become an expert. Because a lot of people refer to online searches or platforms like LinkedIn looking for leading people who can lead the conversations in different fields, such as fundraising, nonprofit, supply chain. If you're confident in what you're talking about in those fields, try to become that expert so more people will follow you and listen to what you're trying to talk about. And also only emphasize relevant information. George's going to go in a little bit more detail about this, but a lot of us have an array of different career paths or side hustles and things that we do. But no, it goes back to the first thing, know what you're trying to accomplish. How is some of the experiences you're referencing is going to help you accomplish what you're trying to accomplish? If you're trying to find out what you are in the market, what market are you trying to test the waters in? If you are working 2 or 3 jobs, only list the items that are important in the jobs that you are looking to move to inside that particular market. And you can say less things about some of the irrelevant information. So just to kind of piggyback on that said, for those who are not there yet, there are a few things that you can also try taking on. One is a little bit of a development. Find a mentor. If you are not an expert in your field or you're not able to confidently talk about what you're competent in, find a mentor that you find that is very competent and confident in your field. And that mentor can help you present yourself in a way that will make you very employable and also approachable on LinkedIn. Some people taking strengths finders will help. Strengths finders is a common tool used by a lot of jobs, and it does some self-reflecting for a lot of people where you can reflect on things that you might be strong at. So when someone asks you, what are your top strengths? You can refer to a strength finder on how you describe yourself confidently. For example, one of my top strengths was listed as competition, and some people don't understand how competition can be a strength, but and Strengths Finder shows that people with a high competition ratio and high strategic ratio have the ability to meet challenges when presented the challenge. So if I'm presented with a challenge, my competitiveness will help me reach that challenge because I won't back down from the challenge, and I'll be able to try to accomplish whatever task is ahead. So Strengths Finder help. Shout out to Pass Forward for a lot of our Pass Forward graduates. People who are not confident or know how to self-promote, Pass Forward is a great program that you can join and help with your professional development. George is a Pass Forward graduate, so he can also talk a little bit more on how Pass Forward helped him move his career forward and also how it translates into some things, how he carry himself both in person and on LinkedIn. Another company that's out there is Leadership Fort Worth. They are also it's Fort Worth in general for those who are in this area that does professional development. But once again, it helps you articulate your skills as a leader and also help you articulate skills inside your field.
Yeah, so a lot of people might, as you all know, you might have an Instagram profile, right? And the picture, when you post a picture, you have up to about 30 hashtags. And the reason why you want to do those hashtags is to bring traffic to your page if you're an influencer or something like that. But also if you want to get out there and be noticed by other things. So there's no different on LinkedIn. You have up to 50 instead of 30 though. And the reason why you want to do that is you want to bring as much traffic to your page for your career path. For example, as Willie said earlier, I work in supply chain and procurement. As you know, we're in a global pandemic right now. Early in March and April, you couldn't get any PPE for anything. So I had to get that. I was in charge of getting that for the agency. So I had so many people reach out to me saying that they were selling PPE or they were vendors or knew how to get that. And that really helped me a lot because at the time you couldn't even go to the store and get toilet tissue or Lysol, anything like that. And that's just all from my LinkedIn page for making sure I honed in on the skills that I had there for my field. So you want to make sure you have 50 searchable items that are catered to your field. And some of the things I have been in supply chain is inventory control, profit and loss, data analysis, management promoting. So think about some of the stuff that you might have that can help you going for your field. Also, you want to make sure you only list terms if you're looking for a job to go with that a recruiter might be interested in looking at. Again, I wouldn't have anything like for pharmaceutical sales in my bio because I don't have anything to do with pharmaceutical sales. So you want to make sure if you're looking at advancing your career that you have some of the things that might help you move forward. And as you can see on the screen right now, the recruiters and the jobs, they'll give you some of the top skills they're looking for that position. So do the research and look at your trajectory for your career that you want to do and see some of the skills that'll take you to get to that next step and then the step after that. That's how you want to kind of cater your 50 searchable items and think about things you want to do to continue to move forward. Also, only have things on there that you're comfortable about talking about as well. That'll be key too, because if you are questioned about it, you want to make sure you know what you're talking about. And then you also want to make sure you update your picture that you see on my page. It doesn't have to be a professional headshot or anything like that, but if you do have one, that's nice. Or you just have a professional, clean picture for your page. And then as you can see behind that as well, it doesn't hurt to throw a little creative banner photo in the background. I reside in Fort Worth. I live in Fort Worth, work in Fort Worth. So I thought it was pretty cool just to have like a little backdrop of downtown Fort Worth in my page, just to throw a little flair on there. Doesn't have to be too crazy. I know Willie has, where he works at in his background. So just think about something like that. I know we all had MySpaces back in the day. You wanted to make your profile as best as you can. So it's always cool to throw a little extra flair on there to your profile to make it stand out. And also, there's a feature section. If you go back to your profile, Willie, there's a profile section on there where you can kind of go over some of the highlights that you have. It's a thing that you can feature some of the articles that you're featured in. It's a cool little flair to make it stand out. As you can see, we've got Bridge to the Greater Community for Willie. He has a nice article to the left with his family showing as well. And some of the stuff that he's doing with Las Vegas Trail Rising too. So this is a nice area to kind of help you stand out in front of other pages that are on LinkedIn and kind of show what you do in the community, what you do for your job, or any other features that you might have. And then as you can see also that your page is an extension of your resume. So if you walk down your page, and you can kind of see on mine as well, you kind of introduce yourself. Hey, I'm George Jackson II, EMBA. I have that next to my name. And I have that next to my name, so as you'll see also on some of the job descriptions, you might have certain certifications or a master's degree preferred for some of the positions that they're looking for. And that'll help you stand out before even the recruiters even get to any part of your page. And also I kind of walk down the about and I hit on some of the key points and what I'm trying to do while I'm on LinkedIn. As you can see, I have my name and I have what I'm in the field, and I also narrowed down some of the accomplishments that I had in my careers and some of the main bullet points of what I'm trying to accomplish as well on LinkedIn. So that's something you might want to look at to doing. Just thinking about what you have as far as your skills and what you think you're the best at, and kind of display that at the very top of your profile so it can stand out before they even get to your job description and stuff. Also, you want to make sure they can list how they can reach you and why you're on LinkedIn, how they can reach you as well. As you can see on my page too, I have my phone number, which is my work phone, and also I have my email address, which is my work email address. Just so after they kind of figure out what you're doing on LinkedIn and why you're there, they can also reach out to you if you can get some connections, or if you're looking for a job, a recruiter's looking for you, they'll know what to reach for you. And also I hit on the 50 searchable items. You want to take those 50 searchable items and kind of hone those down to your top 25 skills. So as you can see, I have 25 skills listed under my email. And that's just that's why I feel like the staple in what I do as far as my career path goes. So you kind of want to think about what your top 25 skills are out of those 50 searchable items earlier and kind of display that at the top. So anybody that's on your page can kind of know what you're about and what field you work in. And then moving down a little bit, once you establish who you are and what you are, you kind of go into your work experience and some of the relevant education that you have. As you can see, I have a cool little thing you can do is add the title. You can see I work for Trinity Metro, and I add the nice little icon. It gives another thing that gives a little flair to it versus the gray box that you have if you just update it. And then also I kind of gave a little brief description of what Trinity Metro is and what they do as far as a company. Therefore, before a recruiter or anybody comes to my page, they'll kind of see the company that I work for and what they do. Okay, he works in the transit. So, okay, and he works in procurement, so he procures things for transit. So, and then I kind of get into the meat of the job description of what I do and what I do for the company. And I kind of go down from where I work at into my last position into the position before. And I do that on all the jobs that I had as far as with JB Hunt Transportation. You see I added the thumbnail as well, just to kind of give it a little flair. And I kind of, again, broke down what I did, what JB Hunt is and what I did for them as well. So keep that in mind when you update the picture. And it's very simple to do. You'll have a little pencil to the side of the edited version, and you can just type in the company that you work for, and you can put it right there and you'll be good to go. Also, you want to make sure you hit on your education, what you get all your certifications as well, and have those together. As you can see, I broke down my executive MBA, gave a brief description on UTA and a brief description on the program too, and let them know, again, that it's accredited, some of the certifications that I got as well while I was at UTA, and also my bachelor's that I got from TSU, HBCU. So it's good to kind of let them know what you do and hit your accomplishments and hit on some of the executive things that you've done as well. And also you want to make sure you hit on some of the volunteer experience. As Demar said, I am a member of the illustrious Bridge Fort Worth board. And I kind of hit on what my job description is and what I do for Bridge. And any other relevant volunteer experience that you might have, you want to make sure you list that as well. And don't be afraid to follow any of your industry leaders that you have in that agency, in that area. So if I still worked in transportation, I would follow JB Hunt Transportation because they're one of the top people in trucking. So you want to always be abreast of what they're doing. Also, don't be afraid to look at other agencies as well. Like I said, with the pandemic, you might want to follow some of the top pharmaceutical companies that they have out there and see if they have a vaccine coming or what's the latest on COVID-19, or look at different schools or anything that might interest you on LinkedIn. There's a lot of stuff in there, a lot of great content that can possibly help you moving forward. And then, as you could, when I was talking about the top 50 earlier, you might have seen some of the numbers aside to the recommendations at the bottom and some of the endorsements. All that was, I mean that people were vouching for me or endorsing some of the things that I do that is in my area. So what you want to do is make sure you reach out to people to kind of help you endorse. If you have somebody that works in your field or you have any friends there that you know that they work good in KPIs or something like that, just hit that plus sign next to there and it'll endorse them. And the more people that are vouching for you, so to speak, it will bring more traffic to these recruiters and let people know that, hey, maybe he does have some good validation in this area. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's talking about. And also you can always send a quick little message to, see, Willie's endorsing me right now. I thought he got me on all mine, but you can always endorse them. You can always send a quick little message to any friends or connections that you might have on LinkedIn and just recommend and just kind of endorse them and give them a quick little boost. As it always helps and it never hurts. So that's just something to keep in look. And then now Willie's gonna kind of go over how to look at and create some different content on LinkedIn.
And just for me to add on a little bit to what, piggyback on what George said, a lot of these messages that was the message that you see on the screen that says, I'm in the process of updating my LinkedIn, please hit the plus sign. That is just a message that you can send out on the LinkedIn Messenger. Whenever you can copy and paste or write something very similar to all your friend network. You can look at everyone that's with Bridge or a Bridge volunteer and just say, hey, I'm part of Bridge with you. I'm trying to get my LinkedIn going. Can you please sponsor or support some of my skills since I've worked with you or I did this project with you before. That is the secret on how you build up your network or your experience levels on your page. Like I said, I've done the same thing when it came to write down what you do and then a clip of the company that you worked for and a little bit about the company. So a lot of that just makes you very presentable. But right now I'm going to dive in a little bit more about creating content inside of LinkedIn. One thing that's very important when it comes to managing social media, whether it is LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram, is that when people speak to you, speak back to them. It's great to work with you. Thank you. Awesome. If you see the activity that I have on my LinkedIn page is that you want to create content by having conversations. So it only takes 15 minutes a day to kind of build your network on LinkedIn, but you can post things that you're involved in. You can post groups that you're volunteering with. You can post any type of articles that are about you or about someone that you enjoy. And when someone says something to you, say something back to them. This helps boost the algorithm so it shows up higher on your friends' feeds, and also you'll show up in your other people's feeds. So now people who follow Kathy Carino will see who I am because I posted something back to her on her feed. That is how the algorithm works. So if some of you say, oh, I see Willie kind of often on Facebook or LinkedIn, it's because I follow some of these secrets when it comes to the algorithm of making sure my content stays higher than everyone else's content. And like I said, it's just like having a conversation with someone. Someone say something to you, say something back. Or if you want to talk to someone, say something, break the ice. Another important thing is having open-ended content whenever you ask questions or say anything on LinkedIn. That way it creates people to say something back to you, creating the conversation. One thing not a lot of people know is that content doesn't show up because of how many likes you get. It actually shows up by how many comments is left underneath the post. So some posts only get 3 likes, but it'll show up on the top of everyone's post with the more comments that's inside the section. A couple items that I haven't took full advantage of, but I do know it gets more priority inside the LinkedIn algorithm is when you create content inside LinkedIn. So they have features that lets you create videos or create articles or publish articles. Those will get higher priority than anything that you share that comes from outside of LinkedIn. Like if you're sharing something from Facebook or from the news, that will still show up in your system. But if you create content inside LinkedIn, or if you create the video inside LinkedIn, that is how you get more items to show up on the platform. So those are just tips and tricks on how you use the algorithm so that people can see your content. So for example, George has a company where he sells food. For his social media posts, you want to post to social media, you want to probably call a couple friends and say, hey, Brittany, Tia, Demonch, can y'all leave a comment on my post? When you're asking your friends to do that, or when you're asking your Bridge network to do that, so those who are paying members of Bridge, you have a group chat with other Bridge members. We always hit each other up about how do we help us with our career. So if you haven't paid your membership due this year, get plugged in with the network. We're always watching out for each other and trying to help out each other. But that is some of the tricks on how you build each other's business. That's how you build each other's career, is by supporting each other. And that's what we're here for as a network. A couple last extras. If you're a veteran, I'm a veteran. Veterans get premium for free. All you have to do is type in veteran LinkedIn premium, and it'll give you a link. They're going to ask you for some type of proof, like your DD-214 or your VA ID or something like that. So that's why my premium account is free on LinkedIn. If you go back, and premium is really good for people who are job seeking because of you get to have is that little gold box there. You're able to message people that typically don't allow people to message them. So you get so many tokens of how many people you message. That really helped me back when I was a business developer, when I was trying to get in front of a lot of executives of companies, but they don't answer their phones and they don't have emails listed. I used LinkedIn for my business development to talk to them or be able to speak to them. And I had access because I'm a veteran and I got access to LinkedIn. But you also have more information when it comes to people responding to your profile. If you're looking for a job or who you're competing against, you get a little bit more insight whenever you got a premium account for those who are looking for a job during this pandemic. Another thing that I wanted to mention, LinkedIn has an e-learning page. If I can bring it back up, let's go. Come on, there we go. So LinkedIn e-learning is, once again, in the beginning, you heard me talk about try to become an expert in your field. If you have free time to surf the internet, you may have free time to do something that will help you become an expert in your field. Once again, I'm in nonprofit, so I'll take on different classes just to sharpen my skill, either teach me something I already know, or maybe it's something I do not know. But
just like a for-profit company,
LinkedIn Learning has various different classes that you can learn to continue to improve your career. So even if it's something like, I want to how to learn Python, program Python, LinkedIn Learning is basically a huge platform with different classes for you to learn different skill sets. And for example, when I came into this particular job, I wasn't great at grant writing. I reviewed a couple tips and tricks from grant writing, also tips and tricks when it comes to marketing and online marketing, all through this LinkedIn platform. And that gave me a little bit more confidence for me to try to do it myself. And once again, I'm a little bit more of an experiential learner. So I'll say, take some advice that you get on an e-learning platform, try it out for yourself and see how you like it. But LinkedIn does have a e-learning platform for those who didn't know that. LinkedIn has other paid options. I believe my wife is subscribed to LinkedIn Business, but that's more for business lead. I can't speak too much into this. This particular presentation is more for the introduction to LinkedIn, but just know there's other paid options you can have to grow your business. And I've known a lot of Black professionals who've grown their business tremendously through LinkedIn, just from the simple formulas that we're teaching you of, hey, how are you doing? This is what I do. This is what you do. Can we sit down and talk? I got a few contractors who work for me currently from LinkedIn. They reached out to me using the same technique, saying, this is what I do. Are you interested in? And I know some of the business features on LinkedIn gives you those type of leads to get a hold of people, particular people in certain industries that you're looking for. So that is most of what we wanted to talk about today. We're going to kind of leave this option available, and we can scroll back or scroll in through the different chats that y'all are leaving. So if y'all have any questions about what we're talking about, when you're done changing your profile, turn back on your privacy settings. And also one last thing we forgot to talk about. I don't know why we saved this towards the end, George. But you want to turn off a feature, especially if you're looking for jobs, that allows people to view other people that are similar to you. So viewers of this profile also viewed. Always have that as a no, because you don't want to make it easy for recruiters or easy for people to find other talent that are like you. Always have that no on your platform, because basically what that means is, I don't want to pick on anybody, but I'm gonna try to go to a random LinkedIn person's page and see if have it. Jan, I work with Jan at TCU. Let's see if she has it on her page. So if a person is an expert in a field, on the bottom, if they keep that feature on, it may show other people that are similar to her in her career. So actually, no, she turned it off. So that's pretty cool. But that's what it does. You don't want, if you're looking for a job, you don't want to make it easy for the recruiter by showing other people who have similar career paths or similar Black backgrounds as you. So that's why you turn it off. But I think that was my last random advice nugget for y'all. Interact with us. Let us know how y'all feel. I hope some of this content was great.
Yeah.
Do y'all have any questions for me and George?
And I'll say one thing before we get into the Q&A. I hope that this kind of, because I know a lot of people that go into LinkedIn are kind of afraid of it. So I hope these basics kind of help you out to not be afraid of trying to get out there and knowing where to go to kind of play with things to get your profile to where you want it to be. And also another feature that I really like on LinkedIn on the end is you can set on your page where you can let recruiters know that you're open for new opportunities. Also, a good feature with LinkedIn, the end. Also, you can, if you see a particular recruiter post the job description or the job out there, you can go out there and send them an email and let them know that you're interested. So you kind of put a face with your name and you kind of jump above everybody else that's just applying for them, and you just get a piece of paper to that recruiter. That recruiter will remember your name and your face that you reached out to you and interested. So it's really good thing to look into, and it's a pretty good investment. I think I want to say, I'm not gonna lie, I got a plug on LinkedIn, so I get it for free, the premium one. But I want to say it's like maybe like $20 a month. It's anywhere from 20 to $25 a month, but I think it's a pretty good investment, especially if you're looking to advance your career, or if you're looking just to kind of connect and build your relationship with other people. So that's all I got, Willie. And yeah, if you guys got any questions, also feel free to connect with us on LinkedIn. So if you do have any questions that we forget to talk about, feel free to message us and we can kind of help you out.
Yeah, and this is once again also a good time to start networking with each other. We're a small group out here in Fort Worth, the Black professionals of Fort Worth, so we got to stick together. So Charles, I got you. I'm adding you on my LinkedIn. I see that you
Yeah, shoot. What's up, Charles?
he threw his information out here. So make sure y'all throw your information in the chat, or also just reach out to us. Also look at your mutual connections to show how y'all connect with each other. We're here for networking purposes. We're here to try to push each other, and just so we have something in common. We have enough problems inside the career field for people who look like us. So we have to at least be here for each other to make sure that we're successful in the careers that we're in.
Yeah, if you have any questions, let us know. Just drop them in the box, and we'll try to answer them for you.
I know Demonst and Tanisha had a bunch of questions once upon a time, but I think we entered them inside of our.
Yes. So, well, okay, let me get back on camera real quick. Oh, camera's still off. Sorry. Hey, I'm back. No, actually, sitting through the dress rehearsal for this, I learned so much. And sometimes you see these trainings, you're like, man, it's gonna be lame. I'm not gonna learn anything. It's gonna be very, you just think it's going to be very generic, but this is very specific. You guys are really great with all the presentation and the tidbits. I never even thought of my settings. And I'm a person who's been on LinkedIn since I was an undergrad, like 10 plus years ago. And I learned things from this presentation that I would have never, known. So thank you guys for sharing this knowledge and wisdom with us.
Not a problem.
There you go. You guys aren't being shy anymore.
You want to read the questions, Demonst, or?
The first one is directed to you, George. How do you feel about supply chain blockchain solutions? Any good pages I should follow? That's a question from Charles.
I feel like it's going to be blocked for a while, at least to the spring 2021. But yes, I do have a good page to follow, and it's pretty much the page I look at every day just for some news. Charles is called Supply Chain Dive, and it has supply chain and logistic news. So it kind of gives you an update on all supply chain and what they think and forecasting for the future. So if I were you, I would look into that if you're interested in it, and just let me know what you think.
Go ahead, Demonst.
I was scrolling to see if there are any additional questions in the chat. Wait, I think I missed one. Does anyone have experience?
I'll message it to you. I'll message to you, Charles.
Okay. Does anyone have experience with LinkedIn Business Option?
I would call my wife in here, but she's dealing with the 4-year-old. But she used LinkedIn Sales, but basically it's an algorithm that you have to tell what type of customers you're looking for, and LinkedIn will go by, for people who has their LinkedIn set up correctly, kind of like how George and I do, it will find out who those people are and try to connect you to them. For example, that's becoming real important now that you can't network in person, and that's how a lot of people got their sales. So what LinkedIn will try to do is funnel who is your target audience, such as I'm looking for people who own restaurants. So LinkedIn will filter all its profiles to see who are owners or who are restaurants owners or who are the decision makers at restaurants. And that will give you the lead, and you get paid per lead, or you have to pay per lead plus subscriptions cost. So there are a lot of more costs that goes into it that I don't know the detail. But the way you find out is you talk to the sales rep on LinkedIn. On the side, when you see me go to the LinkedIn business page, it had the different profiles. I clicked on the one that says sales solutions, but there's different options, such as if you're looking for talent, you're trying to recruit someone for your job, you're trying to increase your sales, you're trying to post a job, you're trying to help market your company, and also learning solutions was the LinkedIn learning platform that we're using, that I was using right here. It comes free with your premium package. So that's some information I have on that. What else we got?
I don't see any more questions in the chat, but you guys feel free to unmute and ask your questions verbally if you have any as well.
Hey, Willie.
Hey.
So I thought one resourceful tip that you shared that was really helpful was kind of explaining endorsing people and their skills, because as someone who had never been on Linked before prior to like a month ago, I was totally unaware as to why that's important and how valuable it could be. Could you kind of explain that for us?
Yeah, so whenever, once again, recruiters look for people who may be qualified in something. One item that they take under consideration or giving preference is what are you trained in? So I see that you have a lot, Tanisha, you have your profile on here. And if I have something in common with you, such as training, I have a lot of endorsements in training. And if I say you're highly skilled in training, it actually strengthens your algorithm when it comes to recruiters looking for training. So for example, whenever you work with each other on a project, and if you have friends that you work with something on, this is something that I recommend all of us do for each other, is that if you've ever worked with each other on something, like I seen Jade pop up, for example. Whenever I see coworkers leave companies, I try to go to their page and I leave them a recommendation. Um, so as you can see on here, whenever you know someone or you did a project with them, go to their page and drop them a recommendation, because that also shows, that will help them, one, for their job search, and it also shows what they are strong in. So for example, when me and Jade used to work together, when she left her company, she said, hey, can you drop me a note of recommendation? I left it on LinkedIn. So not only if she ever looks for a job, she can always reference back here and just click and print it, say, oh, do you have any references? Well, here's a reference right here. You can keep an inventory of all the references you have on your LinkedIn page, so you're never having to look for one. You'll always have them readily available to you. So that's just items of making sure you endorse each other. So now that we're dropping all of our LinkedIn,
I told him to sit.
if you ever worked with one of these people, or if you make sure that you go to each other's page and support it. Oh, looks like that might have been an accident.
Any other questions? I'm not going to put you on time. I'm not going to count down. If you don't have any questions, that's a second. I do want to thank George and Willie for the awesome presentation. Also, quick shout out to all of the Bridge board members, Bridge active members that are on here. I know we also have some new faces, so thank you guys for joining us as well. I dropped the link for our Bridge website, so feel free to check that out, learn a little bit more about who we are and what we do. We have some opportunities coming up this fall to join committees, and so if you check out our website, you can get plugged in. And also, we are gathering donations to make a donation to the Back to School Roundup to help the babies, education. So if you feel so moved, please make a donation to help us do that as a group. That's something we like to do every year. So if you feel so inclined, please, give to that cause.
Quick shout out to my mom. She's in here. How you doing, Mom?
We just got a question from Terrell. Let's see.
Hello.
Hey, Mom. Terrell's question is, how frequent do I freshen up, change my page?
So
like Willie said, man, you wanna go in there at least 15 minutes a day. You wanna allocate 15 minutes a day to updating your page. Again, it kind of depends on also what Willie said, what you're trying to accomplish too. So if you're looking to advance your career, I would allocate that time too to kind of look at some of the jobs that are maybe lateral moves or your next role, to kind of see some of the terms that they're using and some of the terms they're using on the job description as well. So I would say 15 minutes to kind of be interactive and kind of talk to people. And then maybe like another 15 minutes, just kind of study your field. and continue to update stuff that you might have and keep everything up to date for sure.
Yeah, and changing, you don't have to do dramatic changes. I'll
Yeah.
say after this presentation, you know, give your page a facelift if you don't have some of these items that we talked about today. But any changes should happen as things in your career change. For example, when I had an article posted about me, I went in here and I updated and posted it. When I had a position that changed inside my career, or I had an accomplishment, I added it to my LinkedIn page. Also, you don't have to think about these things if you just do it as you go. If you are truly using LinkedIn for networking opportunities, you hop in 15 minutes a day. If Charles said you're a CPA, hop on every once in a while saying, hey, this is what I found interesting in the accounting world, or this is what I found interesting in the numbers world. No one might ever comment, but when that content constantly come out to you, your name automatically comes up like, you know what? I know somebody who knows something about numbers or knows something about money. This guy named Charles is always posting something on LinkedIn about accounting practices. So that goes back to like becoming the expert. But as far as updating your profile, update it when there's significant changes in your career or any significant changes in your volunteer. Like I recently joined the board for board build. So I need to update my experience to represent that I'm a board member on board build now. So just things like that as you go, as things change in your career, just add it to your LinkedIn page and it keeps an account for you. Unless it's something that has nothing to do with your career, like you want to race at South by South. I don't know. If you did something that has a reason why I say that is because my page used to have a lot of maintenance or diesel maintenance or mechanic type information. And I always got recruiters saying, hey, we want this in the diesel field, or hey, we're looking for mechanics in there. And I was like, well, I'm not trying to be a mechanic. I'm trying to get out of that field. I'm trying to go in for a career. So that's why I say keep relevant information on your page, because once again, it goes by the algorithm of search words. Oh, he has the word diesel 5 times on his LinkedIn page. Let's pull him up about diesel jobs. So if that's not the career you want, and you notice recruiters, you keep getting requests for recruiting items in those items, because you probably have that mentioned too many times in your LinkedIn account. You might want to clean it up so it's something more relevant to the job path that you're looking for.
Trust me, it works. Make sure you keep it straight to your field. It works for sure.
Would it be possible to have like peer reviews of our pages to where like, you know, maybe George could, you know, check out our pages or whatnot just to see, you know, hey, this might be where you can improve here or there. Would we have like any type of peer recommendations working together for that?
Yeah, I'm definitely open to that, man. That's why feel free to kind of get in connections with us and then let us know. We can kind of look at your page and kind of give you an overview and then kind of let you know what you can change, stuff like that for sure.
Appreciate it. Because you mentioned those 50 hashtags. You know, Instagram, I mastered Instagram, but I haven't mastered LinkedIn whatsoever. So, you know, any type of improvement that, you know, that's progress makes perfection. So,
Hey, Demonch, do you have a list of the 500 words that people should think about putting on their LinkedIn account?
I thought it was 50.
No, like me and George created 500 words, and you have to pick 50 from that list.
Oh, well, I shared 50. Well, wait. I shared a document. I thought it was 50. Maybe it is 500.
If you look in the chat, let me look.
Yeah, it should have 500 on there.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I missed a whole 0. I did share that with everybody, so I can share it again in case anyone joined a little bit after I shared it. But give me 1 second. I'll put it back in the chat. So you can download.
Inside the chat that has a bunch of words that George and I said that you should look through the list, choose 50 of them, and place it on your page, because those are the top words that recruiters look for different type of industries. So out of that 500 words, I took out words that I have experience in, but it's also relevant to my career. And then I placed it on my LinkedIn. And then as time goes by, I would take off things that is no longer relevant to the career that I'm in, or I have more experience in another field that I want to replace. So if like my top endorsed item is something that most people know me for, is public speaking. So whenever I do public speaking occasions, when people ask like, oh, how can I help you? Or what can we do to network? I say, add me on LinkedIn. If you like something I did, please endorse me. And we can do that with each other. So Charles, if you ever drop me a message in Messenger saying, hey, I just redid my LinkedIn. Can you endorse me? I'll go ahead and support you, endorse information about you, just because I know how hard it is to try to build up momentum and credibility in field. So that goes the same with any of y'all. Y'all just message me on my LinkedIn. I'll do the work and go through any recommendation or pages. And I also will run through your page where I'll just give you my personal opinion to say, nah, that ain't looking right. You might want to fix that, because we all need that criticism sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah, positive feedback, or just recommendations. Because I know, and so okay, so with the 500 words or the 50 hashtags, do you do as the first comment, like you do on Instagram, or would you put it in the actual post itself?
Yeah, so basically this is what it looks like. If I were to message you, I'll say, like, I'm in the process of updating my LinkedIn brand. Please hit the plus sign. Here are some things that I think you can endorse about me, or these are some things I'm trying to let people know about me. You endorse me, I'll endorse you. Whatever you have to have. But I sent this screenshot message that you have on the screen out to about 500 people when I redid my LinkedIn. And from my LinkedIn, all the activity that you see and all the endorsements you've seen is from the people who responded. So that's as simple as I say it is. When it comes to trying to boost your endorsements, a lot of times it's just your personal network and you're asking them for help.
Yep.
Gotcha. Thank you.
No problem. I hope people enjoyed this presentation, and I'm glad to see some networking going on in the LinkedIn page. And once again, hopefully we can get some more development going on in person. We had some great things planned this year. So the Bridge Board, we've been trying our best to pivot and bring good and useful content to our network. And once again, those of you who are on the private chat, we try to chop up business and keep in touch with each other through our WhatsApp on private chat. So if you're not a paid member yet, our network really relies on your $50 a year membership. That's kind of how we keep this machine moving. So if you're not a paid member yet, please become a member. And if you want more information about how to become a member, just reach out to any of the members. We'll love to tell you a little bit about what we're trying to accomplish and how things have been changing over time with this group.
Thank you again, Willie and George. If there are no further questions, I guess that will conclude tonight's presentation. I think everyone, wait, I lied. Terrell has your hands physically up. Go ahead, Terrell.
I couldn't find my hand raised button.
It's fine.
My apologies. I was bouncing back and forth between a band parent meeting that I'm the VP of, and then back to here. Awesome. I sent it out to coworkers and to people in my field. I'm not sure if y'all mentioned, I love using the LinkedIn app when I'm at conferences and functions.
Yeah.
Did y'all mention that one?
No, we didn't. But
okay. So
very elite. Yeah.
So the old school is, hey, do you have a business card? We can exchange business cards. But I love the LinkedIn feature that you can scan a room. You can scan a room, and if someone has the LinkedIn app, you can find people and connect with them on the LinkedIn app, and it automatically connects you. I love that feature. So I'm not sure if y'all mentioned that. If you don't have it, it's great to have when you're at a conference or a function. The other thing is, and I want to ask y'all's viewpoint about, I get people all across the country just hit me up as a friend request, And before I used to be like, I don't know you. Where we from? Do you know me? Do I owe you money? But at a point, but the thing I thought about is, I never know where that blessing may take me, or I never know where they may need me to be a blessing. So one of the things I started doing is when I get random, Facebook, Instagram, I'm calling them all out. When I get random LinkedIn invites, I take a look at their profile. Some of them are sellers, and I get it. They're marketing their business, or they're marketing their multi-level business or whatever. But if I see that they're probably something in common or something I connect to, definitely, I encourage anyone, feel free to link up with them, because you never know where that leads to, and you never know what you might learn from them. Maybe it's not in your industry, but you can use something that they're sharing within your industry. So I just want to make that point.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a different environment than like Facebook or Instagram. This I feel comfortable
Yeah.
adding strangers because sometimes their content is something that I didn't know, or sometimes you just never know you needed that
yeah,
connection. Oh, I need to heard somebody in school. Oh, I know somebody.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even if you are still afraid of that, they give you an option where you can drop a little message like, "Hey, I'm George Jackson. I work in procurement. Y'all see you work in procurement as well. I'm just trying to link up with some like-minded individuals." So if you feel free, I think it'll help you too if you are sending requests to other people, just to kind of break the ice, so to speak, and let them know what you're trying to accomplish.
And hey, Willie, there was an additional question submitted by Tierra. It says, is that search feature for paid or free version? The one, oh, I'm sorry, Terrell, that one's addressed to you.
Oh, I believe that's free. Yeah. So if you if you have the LinkedIn option on your phone, and you're in a conference or a meeting, there is a button. I'd, I'd have to be I'd have to be in the room with you to show you, but yeah, it's a free option. But you just hit the tab, and it'll search the room for other people. So if they don't have LinkedIn, I think they have to have it active though. They have to have the button active. But other than that, yeah, it's a great feature and it's free.
And another feature I've seen people use, same with the search, is the QR code. You see this very common in China, but people would take this QR code and put it on their business card because
Yep.
sometimes people won't follow up with you like with your business card. But if you can scan them real quick, like, oh, hey, here, just scan my QR code on my business card so I can connect with you. That can also be an easy way for you to follow up with people. I run out of business cards all the time, or sometimes I don't have them on me. But because of LinkedIn, I'll say, are you on LinkedIn? Let me add you. I'll send you a message. Let's follow up. And since I have my phone number and email on my LinkedIn page, it makes it that much easier to do business with me because I'm not that hard to get a hold of. So,
All right.
well, sorry for those who missed some of the.
Yeah. Make sure y'all connect with us though.
Yes,
Thanks
please,
for the
please
connections.
do. We've listed every single way you can connect with us. I mean, you got LinkedIn's, I sent my president email address, Bridge website. You should definitely be able to connect with, if not me, one of the other board members, and learn more about Bridge. So we are scheduled to end at 8, and I want to keep this timely. So I thank everyone again. If you have any additional questions, feel free to send us a message. And I hope everyone learned something and can update your page and make it useful. And we will see you all next time. Good
See
night,
you
y'all.
guys.
Take care.